All right. So here we are in the morning. Right off the rip, I bought puts. Why? Because the VIX is down here in this danger zone, right? RSI 30 pops, and now we're getting over 50. So I faded that pop right off the open. I bought 69.75 puts. All right. Right now I'm down $72 on those. This is the vol of vol VVIX. A little perky. Not feeling too good about my short right now. I like to put on a trade when the market first opens to see if I could catch like the directionality, like right off the rip. Doesn't look like I'm right. Down about $152 right now. I'm checking out spot gamma to see what that's looking like. We got a bunch of these guys that loaded calls. So usually when that happens, I expect the market to sell off. And I know a lot of times we've been seeing these trend days followed by uh, the next day taking it out. And we had two trend days in a row. So that's like super rare. Can we have a third? Yeah, possibly. Can I be wrong right now? Yeah, maybe. I don't take more than $200 for a loss, so I'm at 200 and I am out. Am I out? Am I out? I'm not out yet. 200 is a hard stop for me. I'm out at 200 no matter what. Alright, I'm watching tech here. Some mixture, right? Down, up, flat. It's about to be a hard stop on my short. Qs aren't really moving. I'm seeing this kind of stop. I'm looking for the VIX to get above this 50 line. Above that. Above that, and it's drama. Below that, we bounce off of it, then that's going to be a buy. I'll enter calls there. We have a really small expected move today of 24 points. Teeter-tottering around like 180, 200 bucks. Gonna go ahead and say I'm wrong in about a second. Try to give this a little bit of room here. Let's see what the futures are doing. Alright, yeah, I'm wrong. See how we're hitting this line right here? I really wanted to see this kind of play out. At this point, I kind of held on to the short for too long, and it's like I'll be down here, 10 points or 5 points to break even. So not the best move. I bought those a little bit early. Thought tech was being a little bit weak. Now here's the thing. So here is the inverse of the VIX, and it's losing money, which means the VIX front month futures are rallying. So I'm staying in my short, right? We're getting above the 50, hanging out in my short. Right? Qs aren't going anywhere. Tech not looking so hot. I mean, it's been on a tear, but I'm not so sure that that was anything more than like a dead cat bounce or something. So I'm just hanging out in my short right now. My AD didn't kick in yet. My VIX one day is like, where are we at? 7. So I'm treading water here, about down $150, but the VIX is doing what I want it to do. The VVIX is doing what I want it to do. Now we can have like a spot up, vol up dynamic, which goes ahead. See, when core 1M is low like this, that's a measurement of dispersion. When things are our dispersion is prevailing, then stocks just go all over the place. The correlations don't match. Excuse me. All right, so I'm only down 50 bucks right now. I'm almost in the green on the short. Got to fade the crowd. You know what I mean? Like everybody, when everybody's like, "Oh, this thing's gonna rip," I like to be like, "No, it's not." And then, so look, here's the straddle. We opened at 80, right? So the straddle is in a place right now where this is like two standard deviations of the low. It got really creamed pre-market. So I just think like pre-market we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. And again, with those loaded calls, I'm going to go ahead and alert the chat. Calls loaded on SPX trace. I believe that those calls are a hedge when they do that. I don't think it's a directional bet. I think they get short futures or something, or swaps or something, and they throw those on. All right, so may have been in this short. Looks like tech is working. So we may have like a spot up, vol up thing today, which is going to make it a difficult day for me. Tech looks like it's moving. Let me check under the hood here. I could buy an 85 call right now. Which is probably what I'm going to do. Down like 250 on the short. Wait for it, wait for it. Futures front month selling off. You know, like I didn't buy a call there because it's like I should have bought a call down here, if anything. So I'll wait. Still in the short. Kind of at my limit here. Down 225, 250, 225. Gonna call it. I just feel like the SPX looks a little. So Google looks like to be the only one that's like really fucking this play up. And that could reverse. Right? So there's tech. Alright. Google's ripping, so I'm not gonna sit in this. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I need this trace update to see what they did. If they load this up with all puts, I'll buy calls immediately and just close my eyes. A little bit premature on the short. I should have waited like 15 minutes and grabbed it now. Qs were looking like real weak pre-market. I thought they might have kind of baited. You see the buying is kind of fading here. But this looks a little bit strong. Oh shit, I forgot to add my expected move. Alright, I might have to stop talking for a little bit so I can focus, but I will tell you what I'm doing. So I'm staying in the short, 24 point base. We got 77.40. So 7,000. Oh, and that's why I was staying short, motherfuckers. There was another number that just came out, housing. I don't like to be the hoper and the dreamer, man. All the time. Now my short is green. I don't like to be the hoper and the dreamer. Like, oh, hope it goes up. I just fucking hate that. You know what I'm saying? So like when everybody's sitting there like, do you think it's gonna go up today? I just can't. I can't stand to be in that spot. You know what I mean? And now I'm short from the fucking high of day. VIX just spiked crazy. Let me add another one of these fuckers maybe. If it shrugs this off, again though, you know, I really kind of jumped the gun on that because I should be up 300 because I would have took my short here, right? Instead, I took my short in here and just kind of got ate a little bit and was down about 250-ish. And now I'm up 100, 80, 100, 120. You know, so I should be up about $500 right now, but I kind of timed that wrong, so it's all right. All right, there we go. All right, now I'm up 200. Again, I just trade one contract. It's small days like this. Um, we got these small expected moves. Minus 48 equals 69.53 on the downside. All right. Up 180 on the short, 190. Where's the update? Did we get the update yet? 940 update, and they got calls loaded. So thank you very much. And that's what I'm talking about with the trace stuff, man. I saw those calls loaded pre-market like that. I'm getting short. Tech was weak. Guess what? Google probably rolled over or something, right? Oh, Iran patriots keep protesting, take over your so some type of an Iran war news crap. That's what they just posted. That was a Trump tweet, so I may get out of this. Let me see. Being that it was news, I thought tech rolled over. Nope, hanging out. Let me see if I add another 970. Yeah, I'm buying another one.
Order filled.
Hopefully I don't just buy the fucking bottom here. Wow, that was a really shitty fill. Fucking market was trading 950. They filled me at 1070. The fuck. All right, so I'm in 75s. That was my core position. I'm gonna hold that, and I just threw on a 70 as that broke down. Really should have thrown that on a little bit sooner. Swinging a little bit harder than I usually do, and the reason is because with all this like core 1M and all this crap, we had the trend day the day before. We just been up, 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 and all these people are probably long. And we got the calls loaded and shit. So I'm like, all right, let me see if I could really get some juice out of this fucker. Front months are up. Future VIX is ripping. Market's down. One day VIX is up. Selling was the big key up here, right? So I'm up about 400 on the day. All right, there we go. Selling off. We got some gamma support here. Nope, it's gone. All right. So the gamma support is gone, but the Qs are kind of hanging on here. Don't like to be up a shit ton. So what I may do is the 70 they filled me like really garbage. All right, there we go. Text rolling over. Thank you, sir. So what am I looking for? Maybe just for the singles from yesterday to get taken out. I'm going to go defer to my marker profile chart. So we got singles from ES about 93. We are at the overnight VPOC and we are beneath all VWAPs. Not really liking tech right now. VIX is ripping. Maybe I should have bought this news. No. Alright, let's see what happens here. Fucking Google. Dickhead. Man, they really filled me like shit. They filled me like shit, but I'm over here talking, so I should have rolled that a little bit sooner. Not rolled it, but added a little bit sooner. Alright, see this Google rollover? Money come to daddy. Alright, VIX is absolutely airborne. We had fallen into some support, gamma support. Right, we're at the middle of this range. We got some local support here in the Qs. Up almost 700 now. Try to let this thing hang. Really would like to see those single prints taken out. Alright, so this is a crucial level. This is the pullback low from yesterday. This level right here. If we don't take this out, I'm out of here. We need to take that out. If we don't take that out, I'm done. What are the Qs doing? $9.50. Damn, the Qs look a little fucking strong. You son of a gun. See, the VIX is now in a place, right, where we could see it bounce and come back. All these things are too stretched. What's tech doing? I have no idea what the hell that is over there in the Qs. It's just gamma support. All right. like it's nothing. Obviously, it's something. Hanging out here. 950 low a day. Definitely possible. Up like 300, 250. You might have just fucked my whole stuff up. Go fuck yourself, man. What the hell? Alright, so we're dealing with like local gamma support in the Qs is what it looks like to me. And VIX coming in a little bit. And we did not get below. Whenever you have like a trend day or something the day before, the pullback low is the level that needs to hold. If this doesn't hold, then all this is possible. This will be the candle that'll get me out. If this doesn't take this out, I'll be closing these trades. I don't like to just get out on the first initial candle because of this. You know what I mean? That could have just been market maker hedging really quick. They had to buy deltas or something. It could have just, you know what I mean? That's counter trend action. Q's rolling back over. P&L 700. Might close the 70s here. I like to try to hold on to these things. All right, let's see what this is doing. So it looks like we're getting a little bounce, right? But look. Q's not really doing anything. Did I get another update yet? Not yet. Alright, let's see if I'm out right now. It's not really bottoming. It's more like consolidating. The Q's are under VWAP. Front month futures rallying. Q's under VWAP. Again, when I look under the hood with the Q's, I'm like, well, what? So you're being held up by local gamma and Google. So that's not strength. Then I come over here and I look at the market and I'm like, consumer staples is up. So to me, look at the big picture. What is this? 65. Not seeing these calls come off of Trace. Got the 950 update and they still got those calls loaded. Really, that 70 fill was just so bad, dude. That really pissed me off. All right, 10 o'clock. Let's see what you got for me. Front month futures rallying. I had a feeling they were going to dash for VIX calls this morning because the IV was just super super cheap. So usually when that vol is cheap, they'll dash for those calls because you got to figure the VIX guys are trading vols. So if that vol is cheap, they're just, in my mind, the answer for that is they want to buy that cheap vol. All right, so now we see broader market right down. We see that tech bounce, not looking like it's working out. Let's see if the Qs could get through this this gamma that they got going on over there. VIX is above overnight support. Would like to see the VIX one day kind of this looks like it's lagging because look at my VIX indicator here and look at this. So I don't know what the fuck that's all about, but I got it over here, so I'll look at that. And I got it here, and I'll look at that. And actually, all right, so now we're gapping lower. Intraday. Interesting. And again, I'm really sized aggressively here just because of like the core 1M stuff and everything, and maybe these guys got a little overzealous. I don't even know if that's the right word, but just a little bit too excited about Q. The Qs are not really going anywhere, but front month futures are ripping and the VIX is ripping. So VVIX is ripping. So I'm going to pay less attention to this, and I'm going to pay more attention to what the VIX is doing. All right, Google, come on, stop playing with me. All right. There we go. Thank you. You need to get past that for me, sir. Thank you. All right, we're almost up a grand. 820. $1,000 an hour. I'm like a fucking high-paid lawyer or something, right? Straddle is ripping. Seeing this truncate a little bit here, but the VIX is still going. Wouldn't that be sick if we were down like fucking 100 points today? Probably not with the Qs doing this bullshit. Holy moly. Alright, we're up 1,500. I picked the right day. Sell the fucking news. Been waiting for this, man. Alright, where's the put support? Short puts reside at 55. This is extended. VIX is absolutely airborne. They're super short the front months in VIX, by the way. There's a Goldman Sachs report that just came out, and I was looking at the COT report, and they're like super short on the front 2 months. That they had not all time, but for the last like couple years, this is like the most short that they've been. So I'm just gonna let this hang. It's 55 support. $2,000 right now. VIX is ripping. Front months are still ripping. Fucking Qs. These fucking dip buyers. Let me see something here. Alright, so we're heading for the singles. I'll cover it yesterday's open if we get there. I will possibly take profit right now on the 70s. If this bounce gets big, I may take it and roll because I got a lot of money up right now. I don't like to leave it. See, we broke that. We're at the next distribution. Bouncing off those puts at 50, 55. Kind of sucks sitting through those candles, but that's like I said, that could have just been hedging. You kind of got to sit through those. If the next one goes green, you need to get the fuck out immediately. If this candle would have went up here and go green, you got to get out. Rolling on down days, because the VIX is rising, that's going to inflate your premium. And so I like rolling on up days a little bit better than I do on down days. All right, I'm considering getting out. 60. We don't even fucking have anything here. Alright, I'm out of the 70s.
Order filled.
Alright, I'm out.
Order filled.
Alright, whatever. Kind of sucks. I was up $2,000. I only ended up with 12, but I don't like to leave that much on the table. I will get back into this. This is a 65. I want to see what's going to happen with this 55-60 area. Qs are pissing me off. Market's bouncing. Right, front months are getting sold. And now I'm pissed that I even did that. You see. Maybe re-enter. Alright, I'm in.
Order
65s.
filled.
Tight stop. If this fucking thing like does anything that I don't like right now, I'm out. I'm out. All right, behaving. All right, cool. And that's the trader dilemma, because it's like, you got this big open P&L. It's like, do you want to roll it? What do you want to do? Sometimes you don't get it all. But $1,000 for an hour's worth of work, easy trade. I'm not the type of trader that was going to get long this morning because CPI data and all this crap. I got to put like a little bit too soon, like as soon as the market opened. I don't like to go to the chat with a lot of the certain trades because I may change my mind really fast, and if it's like tactical shit that I'm being tactical about, I'm not going to say 5 different answers in the chat because it's just going to confuse people. All right, the VIX is posturing. I'm fucking pissed I got out of that. But I'm still short, and I got a core base. I'm up $1,000. EM low. We are sitting right here at where these short puts are, so that's going to cause a bounce. 10 o'clock low. Maybe I should have been a little bit more smart about that. Sometimes you want to see, had I looked at that, I probably wouldn't have got out of anything. Sometimes it's important to take a step back if things get a little noisy on the 2-minute. Let's see where we're really at. All right, so I would think around like 45. We got this put support here. Put support is at 55. Not really sure what we're bouncing off of here. This is the VIX for the Qs, by the way. SIBO has a VIX for Google, has a VIX for Apple. You can make a VIX for the stock of your choice with AI. Hint, hint. Market's down. 3 time frame stochastics. Everything is down in the sell zone, right? You want to fade the shorter time frame. Look at the selling, ripping. All right, so now I'm a little bit pissed that I didn't leave that because I'd probably be up about 2,500 right now. But on the day, got 1,400. $1,300. And VIX is still ripping. All right, Jack just answered me. VIX index positions are often hedges or hedged directly. They're typically very complex. When you're looking at the VIX, you're looking at a fair variance rate swap on the SPX, which is a strip of SPX option over the VIX. All right, you guys can read that in the chat. I got to pay attention here. I don't like the truncation. I don't like that. I don't like this. I'm watching VIX front month futures. We still got this SCOTUS thing coming. Keep that in mind. Tomorrow numbers in the morning, we got PPI. So if CPI was good, right, maybe PPI is all right too. Check something out. And we got into the single prints yet? Not yet. My premium rallied into that little pop right there. That's shit that keeps you in the market. You got to pay attention to the premiums and how it's acting, because the premiums are way faster than your charting system. We got some positive gamma support down here. Alright, I may close this and just wait a little bit for the next trade. Oh. Front month futures rallying. I said the VIX this morning was like a little flat overnight. Some of the back months. And then that IV was like super cheap, so they're gonna dash for that shit, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get when you see this. So now this is strength. We are above the 90 line. So where it goes from like let me short it up here, now it's strength. So it's staying above here. So as long as the VIX stays above this, I'm short, and I just don't really care too much about. See the truncation into this 50. So if I see the VIX sell off around here, or like front month futures get pounded, I gotta get out. Yeah, I gotta get out of this. Alright, so I just took that.
Order filled.
Not buying calls. Heroes negative 4 billion. May jump back into these 65s.
Order filled.
Now I think we're going for the singles. Almost. I don't like this like truncation, but I'm looking for the Qs to really. QQQ VIX is a little bit topping. May see a bounce here. We could fade. I really don't like to just get short down like in the hole like this, which I am right now. I like to fade the pops, but we seem to just be literally melting. This 55 gamma. These short puts over here. We're almost at the expected move. Straddle is 28. I'm in 65 puts. I like to trade a little bit in the money. What is going on? Don't tell me I have some fucking Wi-Fi shit going on right now. I was about to shit my pants. Gosh. I don't know what the hell that was. It's another reason why I trade small, because it's like, imagine I had like 10 of these fuckers on and something like that happens, which is really my fault. I gotta get an Ethernet connection. VIX is ripping, front month futures rallying. They're looking real bear flaggish to me. I might add another one of these fuckers. I might add a 60. I don't like the truncation. Don't like the truncation. But the VIX is just really my guiding star. There's real put support at 30. Let me check something really quick. Dude, what is going on with my platform today? Alright, so now we're taking out the single prints. So I'm looking for 64 in the ES. I'm looking to take out the open from yesterday. And on this breach of 55, we get past this little bit of positive gamma that we got here. This may be it. Hit the EM, you see a little bit of reaction. Straddle is 31. Nicey tick down all day. I'm not going to add another one right now. I'm going to wait because it's a little early and we could have some action. Alright, looks like this is getting stuffed. That's really the candle where I should have been out of my 2 contracts. A lot of times those don't mean shit though, because it's a 2-minute chart, so you got to keep that in mind. We are in an area that I need to be alert. And again, you see the truncation where like everything's getting smaller, smaller, smaller. So we should see a pop, and then I could reshort on the pop. So I'm likely gonna cover this right now. I like to smother the market. I like to be in it for all the moves. It's I should be more focused on extracting P&L, but my goal is really to just be in everything. And you know, maybe it's a downfall or whatever, but I like to be in the trade so I can really feel what's going on. We're falling into this positive gamma. I'm expecting to see some kind of like a bounce. We haven't even got a bounce. We've just been melting. I want to add another down here, but we're walking into this positive gamma. Alright, the vol triggers may be the low for the day. We see those. If we lose those, then this is like fucking party on. Oh, wow. Now I'm really mad I didn't stay in the whole thing. Alright, we're up like, what are we doing? 1700, 1600. I'm going to hang on to this one. I always say that all the positive gamma in the world can't stop tech when it rolls over. It doesn't matter. I'm going for these singles here. We're at the EM low and we are extended. So we can see a bounce.
Order filled.
I took that because this is the real 50 level. Lock that P&L in, so I got a nice fat day so far. I'm back in on 55.
Order
That's my
filled.
favorite candle. VIX is absolutely ripping. Tech is getting murdered. See, we just had to wait for Google to roll over. Now, if tech continues with the slaughterhouse that it's been, this is what the positive gamma will do. Gamma, when Jack always says, when you hear gamma, think realized volatility. There's a study that I'll post about gamma and its effects on realized volatility. It's volatility dampening. So here we are falling into this positive gamma, and you could see that volatility, realized volatility, is dampening, right? We're not quite sliding like we were. Really should have just stayed in that short. I'm not going to blame the headphones for it. I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit difficult to talk and do this, but I want to give you guys a little peek. There's been a couple of people asking me, hey, can I trade with you? Can this, that, and the third? It's not that I wouldn't mind trading live with people, and it's not that I mind talking to people in the chat. It's difficult for me. You know what I mean? Now I got to type, hey, look, I see this. You know, so it gets hard. The real support is at 40. We're hitting 5-day moving averages and shit. VIX is still airborne. I'm seeing truncation in the futures. I don't like. There's like no fucking relief here. Alright. Might finally get a bounce. Not even. Front month rallying again. Front 2 months rallying. We also have futures, VIX futures, right? The front month is coming off, I believe, on Friday. So you have a lot of rolling going on right now in the futures market for VIX. So when people say, oh, what happened? It was sell the news, or it was this or that. It's never ever what we think it is. We never really know. Your mind could find something that works and create the story or whatever, but we really never know. The chances of you knowing exactly why something happened at the time that it happened is a fantasy. That's good old Mark Douglas logic for you. So we're approaching these vol triggers. If we lose these, then we have like unlimited downside. We could see 69.20. We could see 6,900, right? And here we are about to lose these vol triggers. Man, this is the day I've been waiting for, and I covered the fucking extra contracts. Now I'm pissed. Whatever. Been waiting for this day. VIX is ripping. Not even a fucking bounce. These vol triggers may give a bounce, though, I'll tell you that. Vol triggers may def give a bounce. up a lot of money on this. I may just put a stop at this vol trigger. Yeah.
Order filled.
So I covered that at the vol trigger. 1700 on the day. Ironically, I was up that like literally over here. And this truncation I didn't really like. Kind of was expecting a bounce. We didn't even get a fucking bounce. 1030 I don't trust. So let's let this bounce, and then we'll take an aggressive short on the bounce. So we got tech getting murdered, broader market's kind of flat. Right? VIX ripping, SPX VIX, QQQ VIX, NASDAQ VIX, and this is just fucking stuck. Cool. So we covered at the low of the day for now. Initial balance is set. And let's look to reload this short. I don't want to get too aggressive with the reloading. Let it do its thing. It's only 10:30, right? We got a whole day. Alright, let it do its thing. That's the real get the fuck out, which we never got, right? Problem is that when you're up here and you're up, you know, $2,000 and the thing moves an inch and now you're only up 900, you know what I'm saying? It happens that fast. So I had to lock that in because we just don't know, you know what I mean? And as great as a trader as anybody could be, right? You just really don't know. So I did my best. Still a good day. We're up almost $2,000. And it's 10:30 in the morning. Alright, VIX coming in a little bit. I'm watching the Qs. Looking at 55s. Positive gamma, right? Dampening realized volatility. Let it do its thing. I'm going to keep an eye on the front month futures. Keep an eye on this time frame. Lower time frames, right? Both short. So this is different how you read these. This is like levels. So triple time frame, mid time frame. This is down here, meaning it's bearish. This is the shortest time frame. So this is going to be reactive. When this fucking thing rolls over and these are down here, you're in. So I'm looking at 55s. I'm watching the VIX, right? Watching the VIX. I have another screen with that up. So now we're seeing this come into this. That would kind of negate the strength. So let's see if it bounces off a 90 or if it actually comes in. I'm watching the Qs consolidate. The Qs not really. A lot of guys make the mistake and try to buy this. They want to buy these and shit. I'm not really interested in that. Because if it does go, this is going to get faded and you'll get another bounce that you could take. You'll get a little bit less profit on it, but it's not worth trying to catch these falling knives. You'd rather be short. See? Right? There's a 15-minute. I like to take a peek. Here was that daily level. Always defer to your daily chart, right? That looks like a day. So we did get down to this level that I meant to mark off, and I never did. This was 50. So they got those puts placed, structurally, which is interesting. Because 50 was the expected move, but it was also a structure. So that market's fucking smart, man. Market ain't no fool. Now we have a path. So we're going to draw our linear regression, and we now have a Gaussian distribution to work with, right? Would love to take a fade at 2 standard deviations. I'm going to do the same for the Qs. All right, I'm looking to get back in. I'm in. Oh, you didn't fill me, you little bitch. All right, I'm filled.
Order filled.
Still could be a little bit aggressive on that. This is at 1 standard deviation of the new Gaussian distribution. I'm out.
Order filled.
See how fast I'll get in and out of something? Because I'm wrong. I'm looking for this to turn around. It didn't. So I'm out. Done. Nothing to talk about. Right? Here we got a level right here. I'm looking at the Qs for a guide. What's going to happen more than likely is you're going to see the VIX come down to this 50 and do one of two things. Either rip again or trade lower. So again, I have that on another screen, so I'll be watching that, and that'll be a signal for me. You see the straddle fades, right? So now the low of the day is like the new expected move, but we don't change it because this was the original distribution from 9 a.m. So this was your EM low. Matter of fact, let's go take a peek at what SPX expected move low is. And you don't need to be too aggressive right now, because if this is like a real true down day, I mean, you're gonna have great chances to get into stuff. So you don't need to try to kill yourself, because you could get really fucking creamed in the rolling. If you roll 3 times and you lose $150 each time, it's fucking $500. All right, so SPX implied move low was 69.40. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Brent might have changed the formula, because these have been kind of all right, here we go. I'm in the 60.
Order filled.
All right, I just entered 60 puts. Didn't quite make it to the 50 line, but we're doing that 17 EMA thing. Again, I don't know what the fuck it is about that level. It just likes it, right? Shorts working. Pick that off nice. Front month futures, right? Tech is bouncing. That I don't like. All right, the Qs are rolling. If this were to dump, you could buy 5 extra over here. You follow? Because this is the heaviest weighted stocks in this. So we're trading correlation We're trading spot vol beta and correlation between the Qs and the VIX. I would look for a situation where we make a lower low, but the VIX does not make a higher high. That would be like, okay, party's over. And so the EM 6941, I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. Look at that, right on the button. Oh, bitch. And I always make my expected moves purple. Now again, in the Qs, this looks like somewhere like people will want to buy that, right? This is the dip. This is like where the dip buyers are coming in to buy this. So I'm looking to see them get stuffed because look at the time. It's not really the time. 10:30 low, never trust it. Does it happen? Of course it happens. Rarely. And you could defer to the study that me and Matt did on high and low time of day. I have another study on time of day that's going to really fascinate you guys, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. I got so much cool research coming. Watching the Qs, watching the VIX. So my eyes are not on the SPX chart. My eyes are on other charts right now. Because the path could wiggle, but it's the inputs that are really going to affect the path. This is the output. What's the input? Tech, the VIX, right? All right, so maybe they do buy this. I went from being up 250, now I'm only up 100. So I don't like that. When my P&L changes like that with very little price change, I don't like that. That's a big red flag for me. Now with barely any price change, I'm back up to being 200. So that's what I like. And so another thing I'm looking at, again, is it's so important to pay attention to your premium. VIX is doing what I want it to do. If they lose this vol trigger, I really should buy 2 of these fuckers right here. I'm not going to do it because of that. I don't like to, that would be like planning for us to lose the vol trigger. I don't like to do stuff like that. If we lose the vol trigger, I'm sure I'll be able to jump on the wave somewhere. I don't like to say, hey, let me get fucking super short right now in case we lose the vol trigger. That's something that I maybe need to work on, but I just don't like to do that. I'd rather only make 500 than lose $800 because you know what I'm saying? I have a great morning so far. So I'm just being careful, protecting my profits, right? Not too sure that the Qs are going to make it past this vol trigger. 6940 is really where the gamma resides.
Order filled.
Just pad my pocket a little bit. Covered that. Reason I covered that is because I don't need to get stopped out to realize something is not necessarily working. The vol triggers tend to be like really good levels. We got the 5-day moving average right there. So I'll pad my pocket and take that. And now I got a little juice. If I want to get back in, it's fine. Alright, I'm back in.
Order filled.
See, tech is rolling back over here. That's what I'm looking at. Make or break right now. This is either the rubber band candle that launches, or it's the hey, I'm about to dump candle. All these candles have like two meanings. I don't like this. That's about to get me out of this whole trade if that goes green. So I'm like an inch away from getting out of this. Alright. Finger on the trigger to get out of this. See, this is going flat. I don't like that. See the VIX front month truncating. I don't like that. I would think they stuffed this, but about to get out of this. See, luckily I padded my pocket, so this is like a free stop out. You know what I mean? I got right back in at the same price. That was 250. I'm down 150 on this one right now, but I still padded my pocket for this stop. You follow? Yeah, I'm about to be out.
Order filled.
Let's see what happens over here. I'm not liking the VIX like this into this. I'm not liking that. Tech doing this, I don't like. One time frame and the lower time frames turning up, I don't like. Still could see this fail. So the dip buyers, remember I said don't buy this, buy this one? So this is the one that really needs to work. If we break this linear regression path right here and we have a new distribution, then today is really not nothing. We didn't clear the vol trigger. We just had a down day. We took out some singles. We stayed within the expected move. Whatever. And we made fucking $1,500. $1,400 to be exact. Got a little bit chopped up. Not to say that, we're not going to make some more money, but timing is everything. This would be another spot right here at this two standard divs. Just not really liking tech right now.
Autofilled.
See? They fucked it. They failed it. This should totally break down and through. And this should follow. If Q's breaks the vol trigger and really trades off, so will the SPX. I'm looking at the, this is a big red flag. See this? This is the vol of vol, and it's just fucking airborne. So I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff. And the last thing I'm looking at is the SPX chart because I want to see what's inside of it. This is just fucking wiggles. You'll go nuts looking at that. Right? Look, here we go. Tech losing it. Man, this could be a way bigger day than I expected. If we lose the vol trigger, we could be down 100 points. And I don't like to sit through that whole thing like short. People have been like, oh, you know, why'd you get in and out and you get chopped up? Because that would have cost me friggin' $500 to be wrong right there. And then my whole morning, I'm screwed. Not screwed, but I mean, that's giving up way too much bread. I don't like to do that. I'll give you 100. I'll give you $200 max. I'm not giving you $500 back. Sorry, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm watching the cues here. The big fuck you is if the Q's turn green and just rallies back right now. Then it's like, oh, go fuck yourself, right? Like it's doing right now, and then I don't trade for an hour. Right, go fuck yourself. I hate that shit. See how the SPX wasn't following? Vol is still ripping. I'm down $80. If this fails, I literally will not touch the mouse until, I don't know, till I see something that's so juicy and so sweet that I just know it and I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. Like, and it may not be for an hour. I won't be getting long here. C-Tech bouncing. That fucking sucked. Vol triggers, boss, bro. Them shits, you know, they don't always break. And if they do, I would, you know, I'm cool with instead of being up X, only being up Y because I was prepared for the vol trigger loss. But like I said, sizing up into it because it may be a vol trigger loss, how fucked would I be, right? I might have screwed my whole morning sizing up into that, right? All right, so now this is it for me. Oh, what are we doing? The VIX is cooling off. All right, here's where I get out and I say I'm done. Yeah, I'm about to be out of this.
Autofilled.
That's the fuck you candle. Because what is this? This is a spike. 1, 2. And you should see this go. Right? Front month futures sold off on that big. All the VIX into this last decline was, right, VIX 1 day not confirming. And if this does do some more like choppy shit, I may miss this trade because I'm not going to sit here and try 5 and 6 times. I'm not doing that. I don't care if we end up down 50 points from here. I'm not going to sit here and get chopped up. There's gamma at 50. There's this level right here that we keep hitting. So look at the daily chart just to put things into perspective. So what was today? Nothing, right? Value may even end up moving higher by the end of the day. Right? Now this looks like a buy signal. May buy a call. But it's only 10:50. I'm not buying a call yet. Wow, you guys get to hear all my inner thoughts. Yeah, all right, so I'm done for now. We probably got like $1,500. Wow, jeez, I got whacked on that. $1,200. That really sucked. So I got chopped up in here. That really fucking sucks. So I gave back like $700 getting chopped up in here. That sucks. I had a feeling that fuck you candle was coming. But whatever. So I'm up $1,200 to be exact. I'm not buying a call right here. Even though maybe I should. But you got to figure, if I was looking to the long side, I should have bought this. So let's let this resolve. Figure out what it wants to do. I've seen this 1030 shit get so weird. This thing might like gyrate or whatever, and I might get this short of the year rolling into like 1 o'clock. So it's like my morning right now is like cool. I got my morning P&L. I'm not thirsty to be in this trade right now. Don't like the low a day, 1030. I'm not a big fan of that. Q's made their low at 1048. Not a big fan of that. But so what do we have? So like let's sit back and like really say like what do we have right now? So maybe some VIX futures rolling. Took out the trend day before, right? Like I said, we probably would because that's just, again, I got to back test that, but that's literally been what we were doing. And then let's take a peek over here. So we couldn't even take the singles out. I mean, I was really expecting us to take these singles out. So that's like, this is like super bullish shit. When we don't take those singles out, you got to say to yourself, like, damn, we couldn't even take the singles out. I mean, what was it, 10 points or something? 84 to 68. 20 points. So now we have this day. We ended up respecting these overnight single prints right here. And we're back inside yesterday's value, right? Just like that. We're at about mid-range of the initial balance. The VIX is at its RSI 50, right? And so here's something I missed. Look at the Q's making a lower low, and look at the Q VIX. Doom. So I fucked up. There was my mistake. I should have been looking at that. Doing too much, doing too much, doing too much. Try to answer some questions that I got from people right now. Now, VIX is at RSI 50, but here's where things get a little wacky. So we have another channel. You think about it logically. Am I going to short that right now? No. VIX at this RSI 50 is making me want to short it though. But I'm looking at the Qs, and I'm not getting overexcited. Trying to analyze what really is going on today, because a lot of times when down days come, people, including myself, could get over, like a little bit excited, like, oh, it's going to be some big down day. We have normal down days also that are just in the opposite direction. You know, and right now what we have is just a normal variation of a normal day. Traded to the vol trigger and we held it. Now, can we roll over and lose the vol trigger at some point today? Yeah, hell yeah. Which is not why, as much as I said, like, yeah, I like to be in like every trade, I like to be everything. Like, okay, so I could have bought the call before when it was going to break out. I said, all right, maybe I'll buy a call right here. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to. Because it turned out to be a mistake. Not really sure. Not really sure. But there's going to be 50 opportunities to get long in here and here and here and here and here if this goes like this, right? So let's see what happens. I'm watching the VIX, right? So this is bearish, this right here. And this right here is bearish. See that? Staying above the 90 line like that. So actually this short looks kind of tasty right here. This is 65. Don't like to do too much trading in the morning. Let me go ahead and check out DOI. Those motherfuckers got those calls loaded. What would I tell you about that shit every time? You see that? Just get short. Why? Because it's a hedge and they're bringing the market lower. That's what that is. That's not directional bets. Nobody is putting on calls from here to 7,000 and losing money. That's a hedge. Why am I not shorting this? I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm watching. Right? Looking at tech, right? We need Google. We need these puppies to roll over. Stalling. Going. So tech is going to lead the way. I don't like to just throw on shorts at like random times. You know, we're right in the center at the mean of the distribution right here. Q's trying to figure it out. Look at the straddle. All the way sold off. Right? So I'm looking for the Q's to fail here. Alright, see the Q's. It's 11 o'clock.
Order filled.
Alright, I took it. Why? Because look. This I don't like. Turning up. Turning down. Turning up. Turning up. You could see these turning points. Right? Not looking too good. Still see all these calls loaded, so I'm like, and I'm not liking what's happening to my premium. Not liking front month VIX futures. Not liking this SPX. I'm maybe a little bit ahead of myself right now. Alright, let's see. Played myself. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Don't like how my premium is... It's holding up alright. Alright, we caught it. This is a pretty classic area to get short for like a continuation on like a big down day, for sure. But another reason why I didn't just get long. But, you know, again, VIX is doing what I want, right? So that's what I like to see. And that's what's keeping me in this trade right now, because there's not much going on at the exact moment. They still got these calls loaded. Oh shit, let me see if they sold some. Alright, so they took a bunch of these calls off on that last update. So that's got me kind of like I want to get out of this trade immediately. So now my finger's on the trigger to get the fuck out of this thing because they closed that call hedge. I don't like that at all. And back to what I was saying, the Mark Douglas theory before, like you don't know what anything is. Alright, I'm out.
Order filled.
See, I should have just got out as soon as I saw those calls, what you call, get taken off on that update. So downside is probably done for now. And so we were up. We gave some back. We still got almost 1100 on the day. So we got chopped up in here. We got stopped out here. So for now, I'm not doing anything. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Alright? I'm not doing anything. Nothing. And maybe I'll pause the video for a little bit and turn it back on or something so you're not just sitting here blank. But sincerely, oh, wow, this is what we're doing. Alright, I'm back in. See that VIX.
Order cancelled.
Sometimes my fingers fucking spasm.
Order cancelled.
What are you fuckers doing? Alright, so we're still not going to take the trade. We're just going to sit here. Pretty funny how sometimes like your finger could just like click the button and it doesn't go, and it's like, maybe that meant something. Maybe somebody like maybe the universe stopped me from taking that trade. If I do click something and something doesn't go off, then I don't take it. Yeah, this is just more bullshit here. This candle got me excited in the Qs. And the fact that we're sitting on that like RSI 50 like that, it's like even though I really don't want to touch anything and I just want to leave my P&L right now. Because you think this thing would have to sell off, but it really doesn't have to do shit. And if you were sitting in a short right now, you would be fucking you would be losing premium and just getting whipped around. I already gave back, $700 on the fucking day. So it's like you really got to be careful like getting in and out. Right? So around here, like we're like, all right, cool, this thing could roll over and keep going and lose the vol trigger. So is it okay to take the risk and lose the money? Like, yeah, okay, I'm all right with that. Will I make it back like throughout the day? I'm sure that I will catch a really sweet trade at some point that's just super clean and looks good. Look what the VIX is doing. So it's like, this again, this is like an entry signal for me. So everything I'm doing is following my rules. This right here is something I probably should have paid a little bit more attention to, because this is the vol of vol, and it's just telling you that things are chilling out. So you're getting like a vol crush in the VIX right now. So this is like, I don't really like to see that. I don't even know if this VIX one day is like fucking working properly, because before it was all screwy. But let's defer to a 15-minute chart and see what the big picture is. Wow, so this does look like it would be like a really sweet area for a short. I'm not gonna lie, but I can't really just sit in it. Can't really just sit in it. You got to remember, like, it's still a bullish market. We made all-time highs 2 days in a row. We could fucking turn around and make an all-time high today. You know what I mean? So, kind of just got to respect it for now. This level was a boss. But more or less, like, that's what I'm doing all day. And then just like the self-control to just kind of be like, all right, I'm not going to sit here and try to be in every fucking trade. Okay, cool. I don't even care if I would have bought calls here and then sat through this whole fucking thing and this goes, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I really don't, because I'll make another 1,000 somewhere else, I promise you. You know what I mean? The only reason I even got so aggressive over here is just because of this. I don't like the 1030 low. This was threatening the vol trigger, right here. And I said the only thing that could screw this is the fuck you candle. And what do we get? The fuck you candle. That's when you get a big dark candle that comes down, right? And they just turn around and say fuck you. So that's like super bullish. So, you know, we're seeing the vol of vol come in, seeing the VIX cool off. So again, we don't know what this was. My guess is that this is going to have something to do with like VIX front months rolling because of the expiration. If I show you my notes from the morning, so we had a EM of 24 points, which we breached, but we respected. But look at the VIX IV. 76, 94, 83, 88. That's usually like an auto buy for them. When you see those VIX vols real cheap like that, it's almost like they're like value guys, like they just have to buy it, you know? And then you'll see them go for that. And I'll show you let's see if I could get this over here. So here's the VIX complex, right? This is second month, here's spot. So we traded back to the point of control, right? We failed VWAPs. I really need 2 more screens because if I would have seen that we were up here and VIX was failing this VWAP that it's been failing, I would have been kind of more aggressive on the long. And then on the other side, I got the tape, you know. So, you know, this is supposed to be like market by order data from Sierra charts. A lot of times I just don't understand where the trades are because all I see on the thing is odd lots all day long. And I see a lot of selling right now, but all I see is like odd lots all day long. You would think you would see, you know, 1,000, 100. Like I know these guys are rolling these things. They got to be selling this shit, unless the ones are really representing hundreds, but I doubt that. You know, and it's like if you took the 55s, you're at 66. You got 10 points. You got chewed up in here. You're probably up like $300. If it turns down to here, you'd be like a break even. You know, so it's like that was not what this was. You know, this right here, if you would have caught that, your P&L would have went crazy. That was nice. You would have made $1,000 right there because of the velocity of it. If you would have caught this down here, then you would be in good shape over here. Getting along like over here-ish, sitting through this with like negative or evenish P&L, and you're probably up like 200 or 300 right here. I wasn't really interested in doing that. Now I understand what's going on for the day, and I have a clear understanding. Did get chopped up a little bit, gave some back. So I'm literally at $1,000 on the day right now. 988 sucks. Gave back about 710. Getting chopped up in here. But you see, I'm glad I didn't oversize into that short. Oh, I think this is going to lose the vol trigger. I'd have fucking blew my whole day. So I know I trade small. I know some of you guys take like way bigger sizes. I like to trade my one lots. They're manageable for me. If I make $1,000 a day, it's, you know, it could be. Listen, $1,000 a day is the goal. So that's why I'm saying like I got my goal right now. I got my $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not thirsty, you know, to be doing anything right now. If I'm not super sure that something's gonna happen, like I'm not really interested in just, you know, being in it the way that I was earlier, because the potential for this to turn out to be a big day over here, right? Now, the potential for this to turn around and fail is like Maybe. And if it does, I bet you I catch it. So it just kind of changes. VIX is kind of refusing to leave this RSI 50. But again, what am I going to just sell it again here? You'd be one of these guys that just shorts the fucking trend day all day. Next thing you know, you have no money left. You follow? So you really just got to chill. If you had a morning like that, you really just got to sit and stay calm, because this is the third time now. We had one here. We took that, and I think we got stuffed right here, right? And then we ended up getting out for a loss. Matter of fact, I think I took some profit in here to kind of pad it, and it actually didn't even really do me any justice. This looks like another short right here because of tech. Looks like it is actually rolling over. But I don't see. I want to see these front month futures really move. This is nice. I like that. This is nice. I like that. $11.30, $11.20. So if you flip the chart upside down, would you buy a 11.20, 11.30ish dip? So would you sell an 11.20, 11.30ish rip? Again, I'm being protective because I already gave back 50% of my fucking P&L on the day, right or wrong, and that was let's go back. If you guys replay the video from the morning, right? I gave that P&L back trying to make a lot of money, right? Because I was up $2,000, and where normally I would be like, oh fuck, I'm taking that, right? I'm up 2 daily goals in the first 15 minutes. Because I'm waiting for this core M1 snap and all this other shit. I held on, say, okay, maybe I caught this huge trend day from the top, and so I'm gonna sit on this. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that because that's the logic behind it. It's not like it was a bad trade and I did something that I wasn't planning on doing or something like that. That was directly in the scope of what I was willing to deal with, and I'm fine with that. On the day that this thing does snap, I guarantee you I will be long short 2 to 3 times my normal size. And if we get a 100-point down day, I will be in it. So I'm cool with that. It's been a little rough like the last couple days. I've been coming out like maybe break even or 200. It hasn't really been anything like spectacular. So I just made back a bunch of money, got my week flat, and I'm like cool right now. You know what I mean? We got some SCOTUS shit tomorrow. We just kind of reversed at the all-time high. We do have an overnight all-time high to take out, so the market did not top. The market can't top with an overnight high. So what does that mean? It means this overnight high needs to be taken out. Even if we sold off 100 points, this overnight high, it's got to get taken out. The market doesn't like leaving those. It likes to take it out. So I'm looking over here, right? We're failing these VWAPs. All right. I'm not trading futures today. Hope I didn't just dox myself. This looks like a short against this volume area right here. Against this. See, this is the pullback low I was talking about, and we're fading that. Front month's rallying. If I take this and it doesn't work out, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. I need something real good. This is more of like a thing where it's like, okay, put it on, put a stop, and see what happens right now. Not looking for that right now. I want something real good. Why? Because I made money today. You know, and that's something to think about, like, as a trader. You know, you want to come home with money for wifey, right? You want to come home and say, baby, look what I got. Let's go get some dinner, right? Let's go do this. Let's go do that. You don't want to come home like, I was up $5,000 and I fucking gave it all back, right? So now we're getting some action. Futures ripping. Alright, I kind of like what the VIX is doing here. I'm not liking this though. Straddle's turning around. Let's see if we break this 2 standard deviations here. This is 2 standard deviations of the new linear path. I'm in.
Order filled. If this doesn't work out, I will not trade for the rest of the day. I will go work on something. Don't like the Q's friction, really. And again, if I was down money, I would have been a little bit more aggressive on that, trying to make it back. But I'm trying to protect the money that I made already. All right, cool. It's working. Woo! Caught that. Nice. What the fuck was that? And they're buying it back? What are they doing? I stay in these when this shit happens. Sometimes I end up $1,000 and then down nothing. But when this happens, I don't know if the market's about to crash. I don't know what's happening. So I usually leave it on the table. Yesterday when we popped from like 80 to 85 really quick and we did that like huge 10-point candle, I sold that because the upside is like limited. Like I didn't really think we were just could burst to 7,000 from 80. You know what I mean? But this on the downside is like anything can happen. So I don't know what the fuck that was. I have no idea. My idea, if you look at the VIX spike, is that that had something to do with the rolling of the VIX futures. And so here we are. It turns out to be nothing. Probably should have sold it. Again, if this trade doesn't work out, I'm taking my 800 or so for the day, and I'm going to go work on Claude. Probably it was nothing more than like literally VIX futures rolling. You know, and this is what I hate about trying to like plan crap, because when you have the vol trigger here and you're thinking about, oh, what could happen, and we think the core 1M is going to snap, and then you see something like this and you end up doing some dumb shit and not just selling when your fucking entry. It happens to me all the time. I get in and then boom, these crazy things happen. Always right before I get in right at the right time. Okay, cool. Then you end up saying to yourself like, well, I'm not just going to get out because what is this going to crash or something? And you really should have just sold it. And so, I'm sitting here right now, giving up a little bit more P&L, down about $100. And like I said, if this doesn't work out, like I'm literally done for the day. Broke 2 standard deviations. Chewing up my fucking P&L. Let's give it a second here. I don't like what the Qs are doing. My guess is this thing absolutely fucking rips right now. I think we're going to absolutely rip. All right, I'm about to call it. I'm about to end it. About to end it for the day. It'll be a $700 day. Gave back $1,000. Actually, for a video, actually pretty worked out pretty shitty. But at least you guys get to see how I trade. You know, I get positioned when things are going to happen. They don't work out. You can only get what the market gives you, right? So I can't really, can't really complain. Whatever mother market gives is what you got to take. And today, she gave me $700. because I'm down about 300 on that short that I took. I'm trying to give it as much space as I can, but I'm not giving it anymore. And I'm out.
Order filled.
At 700. Cool. So that's how I do it, folks. When it broke that 2 standard deviations, right, I got in because this could have been a buy. A lot of times I'll buy right here. And so that turns around and spikes. And again, on the upside, I usually sell those immediately. The last 3 times that we've had those to the downside, I regret not covering. But you always kind of feel like, oh shit, is this whole thing about to dump? And so you kind of got to stay in. You know what I mean? Figure, let's just for example's sake, say when it was down here, I sold. Well, what if it was some type of real thing and then it just started coming off now? Well, now what do I do? Just because, you know what I mean? So it's one of those tough decisions that you got to make when you trade. Again, if that happens to the upside and you get like a pop or a burst or whatever, I sell it, I take it every fucking trip. Yesterday, right here, where were we? This pop right here seemed like really violent. Well, let's show it to you. This was this one. I was long. This was the bottom of a see this truncation? I bought a call right fucking here. And then boom, it popped. I sold it. It was an 85. It went from like $1 to like $4. Boom, sold it. Done. Nothing to talk about. Why? Because I have no to the upside. Yeah, the right tail is fat, or it's not fat, but the right tail rips in this market, right? It's dangerous, but it's not like a downside tail. You know, you don't have unlimited upside, right or wrong, right? You really have unlimited downside. Not going to see the index just melt up, 600 points. We did see it in April. Doubt that's going to happen like on a random, Tuesday or whatever the hell it is, Wednesday. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Cave back a lot today. I'm not really happy about that, especially, that I made this video to share with you guys. Would have been way cooler if I made more money, but I just wanted to be like transparent and just kind of show you the way I think, how I get into stuff. If you're wondering like, how the hell I get into things at certain times, timing the market, well, you just saw it. I make my regression channels. I trade the distribution. We broke the distribution. I got in, and then the market gave me something spectacular. It gave me that huge candle, right? Maybe that would have been something sick. We would have lost the vol trigger, all this crap. Honestly, I think that was nothing other than just a VIX front month roll. Something to keep in mind, right? And something to keep in mind is futures contracts. And when you're dealing with the VIX, like, you got to understand that there is a huge trade that funds do where they are selling the back of the term structure and just letting that melt on down into the front month. And so they have to roll that at every expiration. And so this morning, when I went to my my VIX complex chart, right? Let's see if anything popped up on here. What time was this? 11:26. Let's check the charts and see if we could see anything. Again, time and sales. Dash Trader had the best time and sales of any system that I had. Imagine you would have tried to buy that right there on that 2 standard deviations. Woo! I mean, it worked out okay for you, but you got to be careful. I don't see, yeah, maybe that was it at 27. I got to talk to John. Okay, so here's the buy lot that came in. This is a pretty big lot. So these guys are short, right? Because they roll these down. So they have to buy to get out, which makes the VIX go up, right? Which makes the SPX go down. So that looks like the order right there. That hit. And if you look at the tape, which is pretty thin, right? 40s and shit. That was rolling all down into here. So beware today, guys, because you may have like a little bit of a funky day. Again, I'm going to walk away with my money right now. I'm not going to sit here and give a dime of that back. I made $700, and that's what I'm keeping. And that's how it goes. A lot of times, I have a good morning, and I give some back later on in the day. I get pissed. You would be surprised how many times I stop trading when I'm up here. Because the opportunity is like, look at this, okay? So we got short originally at the open at 80. So I took a trade from 80 to 45. 35 points I got. Now look at the opportunities left for the rest of the day. If you did get long here, I don't know why you would have, really, right? What was the reason? Could you have bought this, arguably, this punch? Yeah, sure. If you were sitting in this and just sitting long, what did you do when you got to here? You had to get out on this candle, so you probably didn't make much in between there. The short didn't work out, right? And now what are you doing? So just look at the opportunities that there were, and then look at the opportunities now. Remember I said I was looking for a fat pitch? This was a fat pitch to me. Why? Time of day, right? This is 11:30-ish, right? And we see it roll over. That would have been a continuation. That would have been a time of day where continuation is likely. I was willing to take that trade. Every bit of P&L that I gave back on the day, this was in anticipation of a vol trigger break, right? So you got to say to yourself, like, okay, I was willing to do that. Why? Because I would have made like 20 grand today. You know what I mean? If this would have did like its 100-point day, it would have been like a $25,000 day for me, which is not normal for me. You know what I mean? But I would have had two of them on. That would have been my core position. I wouldn't have touched those. If this thing started really going, I know we're going to close on the low somewhere at around like 3 or something like that. I probably would have been out of my original 2. And then I would have been bouncing in and out of my of whatever, rolling and buying another one. Roll in a core 2. So that's like my plan for like the official snapping day. I'll probably try it again on OPEX. But that's how I think. So it's like right now, what are the opportunities? Like, am I going to sit here and try to scrape back the other $400 or something to get to 1,000? If I see a fat pitch and I'm sitting here, I will. But I'm gonna end the video here because, like I said, I'm literally gonna pull up Claude right now and get to my tests that I run like intraday and try to get some of these with some live data going, because that's like super important. I'm up money. I made money. I could have made more. I tried to make more. Market didn't give it to me. This was not a buy for any other reason maybe than we had this VIX up here at these VWAPs, you know, so maybe. But again, I was leaning into the short. Why? This was absolutely ripping. Vol of vol was ripping, right? We were above the 90 line. This is strength. Now this is over. You see this? Like, we're fading off right now. This is over. So that's a long signal. Things are okay. If you wanted to get long here and just say, okay, I'm long for the rest of the day, you could try that and see if it works. We can make an all-time high right now. I honestly would not be surprised if we see 7,000 right now for the day. Because let's look at a daily chart. Could you see it? Let me get this out of the way. This old chart. So could you see this just turning green and going up here? Of course, I could. What's the range on it? So we had a 40-point range, and the expected move was 24. That's another warning. This morning, the expected move was like 22. On CPI day? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? On VIX futures roll day? Like, what are you talking about? Now, VIX futures, they need to roll for a couple of days. So you may see some type of a bracketed market right now. The expiration, if I'm not mistaken, matter of fact, let's just... And again, remember, we had this in the market. This is a hedge. I really don't care what anybody says. This is not a directional bet. Who the fuck puts on 7,000 calls, long trader at 7,000, and just leaves them when this happens? This is a hedge. For what? Maybe a VIX future long. Maybe a fucking huge ES future short. They covered them down here. Remember when I said they covered them and I was like, oh shit, and I should have got out like immediately? Why? Because this is a hedge from somebody that really is dialed in. This is a big fucking hedge, right? And it's layered. See how it's like layered like that? They're always like that. That's not a directional bet from a bunch of retail traders that put on 7,000 contracts. I trade 1.5 max. Yeah, there's some guys in here that trade 100. Most of the people in here are doing 10 clips, 5 clips, 1s and 2s. 7,000 contracts. That's a Captain Condor is a fund. That's not just like that's a Protail or some type of a fund. That is not, and when I say Protail, I mean like you're on a desk somewhere, family office. Maybe you're not institutional, but you're not just sitting in your living room, you know, in your house with 7,000 contracts on. Maybe one day. But so anyway, so this was like immediately I saw this pre-open and I bought a put right on the open, literally, and I sat in it because of this. And I looked at tech and I'm like, well, the whole tech market is weak. So Google should get sold, right? Should happen. And it was fucking us up for a little bit. And then what happened? Google finally rolled over, right? And then we got that mean short, okay? We tested the vol trigger. We covered down here. We tested the vol trigger. We were short into this. We had some nice P&L over here. And we got the fuck you candle. What can I do? I didn't touch any of this shit, right? We broke 2 standard deviations, okay? So I wasn't thirsty to catch this. If there are days where I do that, but because I got so chopped up here and gave so much P&L back, I no longer can do this trade anymore. You follow? Yeah, normally I absolutely, at the mean with a spike, would have sold that. I probably would have tried here too, and maybe even held all throughout this as short and just said I don't care. But I already gave back too much P&L, so I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? And that's how I trade. I take all this stuff into consideration. I take my P&L into consideration, and then I take what the market gives me. Like I said, you know, the market usually rips after you get these things. Somebody, in one of these stupid ass YouTubes is going to tell you this was a liquidity grab and the market makers stole everybody's stops. No, it was the VIX front month rolling over again. Need to roll over volume. So there's not going to be that much volume here. You're going to see them rolling into March. And yeah, and so that's how it goes. And, quite frankly, could I have taken a shot when the VIX gets like under whatever and just got long here and just been like, fuck it, I'm going to get long? Yeah, but again, $700, I'm literally not giving back a dime of that. If I see a super fat pitch, like now we know that the uptrend is intact. We know which way it's going. I quite frankly think there's a chance that we literally see 7,000 today because it's a volatile day, right? So realized volatility is going to be when you have a lot of ups and downs intraday. If you just have like a day where not much is happening, it's just like this. This is like a low realized volatility day. Why? Because there's no variation. It's just drifting higher. This is super low realized volatility. This is higher realized volatility. We're down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 all this shit. This is a higher, so you get higher realized vol today. Look at the straddle right now, all the way back down. So, it's a lot to look at, but these are the things that could really, that are really going to keep you in the right place. And again, for a video, little disappointed the way things worked out. I was like, wow, go figure. The day that I plan to make a video for everybody turns out to be like this awesome thing, because so many people were asking me about how to manage this indicator, how to manage these channels. So I'm like, you know what, let me make a live video. Let me show everybody like how I do this actually intraday. And so this is as real as it gets. Really sucks that the market didn't give me what I wanted. You know, I'm going to try again for a big short on Friday on OPEX, and let's see if I get it. You know, because we're in these conditions where core 1M is smashed. The VIX is like now it's trading at a 16 at the front month of futures. You know, we're still at like a 15, which is kind of high, but we also have like a lot of open interest in the VIX expiration for Jan 21st, which is right after OPEX. You know what I mean? And you know, like Brent always talks about like this snapping. So I'm aggressive on my shorts right now. You know what I mean? Yesterday, I was aggressive here. I was aggressive here. Didn't really work out. I got long here. I made all my money back. I got long here. I got short here. And actually this short, why didn't it work out? I forget why it didn't work out. But yesterday I ended up losing money in the morning, making it back here. So yesterday was pretty much flat. I was like barely green. Today, really thought that we were going to have like an awesome day. Guess not. So now that we have this like up channel, if I see a fat pitch and like, you know, we're in this channel and, you know, things just look obvious or whatever, it's 11:50 to 12:30ish. I'm not like thirsty to take anything in this time. This is like theta burn, things slow down. And again, look at the opportunity. We had 40 points on the downside. So we got that, right? We had $1,700. That was an awesome day. Why did I risk that P&L? Because we were bumping our heads on the vol trigger. So I'm saying to myself, like, dude, because these core 1Ms are smashed, because everybody is so bullish at all-time highs and the CPI was good and we still sold off, like, this is all information that I'm taking and saying, oh, shit, VIX is rolling over. Maybe this thing maybe we get a nice 100-point down day today. Cool, right? That would have been sick. I could see that on a daily chart. I'm imagining the daily chart, and I'm saying to myself, would today have fit in to maybe trade down to like 68.80, right? From 69.80? Fuck yeah. So, but again, this is why predicting sucks. And this is why reacting is better. And yes, I am somewhat foreshadowing and predicting this snap. And quite frankly, it did cost me about $1,300 today, right? Taking this short, instead of saying, wow, I'm up all this money, let me chill. Because if we did break the vol trigger, you know this is just going to fucking puke. And there probably would have been another opportunity for me to get in there. But I took this aggressively, right? Gave some back. Tried again here. Gave us 2 fuck you candles. And so cool. So I'm up money, right? I'm just about probably up a little bit on the week. It's Wednesday. And as long as we just move and just have like, you know, a decent opportunity for the week, then, you know, I'll probably end up my usual $3,000 for the week or something like that. You know, if in these slower markets, when we have markets where we're having 80-point days, then my days are different. And I end up with like 5, 6, 7,000 for the day, just trading like this. Because on a 1 lot, when you get, or 2 lot, if you get 50 points, it's $2,000. If it bounces 30 and then sells off another 50, or 40 or 30, now you have opportunity. So that's how I look at shit. And again, just, you know, not trying to be too thirsty with stuff. If you were down money in the morning and for whatever reason that didn't work out, well, now you got to scrape it back. I could see you being a little bit more aggressive on the long or whatever. You know, that was actually well, in the Qs it was pretty decent. If you did get long here at 60, you got like 15 points. I don't know what you did here. You know, if you decided to buy this or this, these are 2 areas where you could have got in on this long or whatever. Again, I'm sure there's going to be an opportunity later on in the day. We'll see what the profile brings. I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch a 5-hour video. We don't even have like a tail on the day. Like we're still inside the initial balance. So that is a big explanation as to why I had given back literally $1,300 of my P&L, because let's keep it frank, this is fucking odd, right? This is really odd. We did have a really big first hour, and we have really no tail. I mean, this tail is like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of excess on that low. But I would chalk this up as an odd day, and that could very well be from the VIX roll, because I mean, let's be honest, right? When we saw that, remember we were over here, and I was like, oh, this is a short. This is a market profile short. We failed this distribution. I came back over here. I'm like, all right, the VIX is still posturing. I'm like, all right, I got my line. I didn't get super aggressive. We broke. All right, cool, I'm in. That's about as safe as you can get. Aggressively, this is your candle where you want it to get short. Aggressively. But it's like, again, wasn't really looking to give back P&L. Now, you see tech looks like it's turning around, right? So that's cool. So tech uptrend continues. And we tried. And that's all you could do is try. On days where you kind of understand what's going on a little bit earlier, it's like a regular up day or something like that, and the threat, like this P&L is really for like a normal day P&L. You're walking away with $700, $1,000. That's not anything spectacular. I gave that back, trying. So that's why I don't like predicting. I like reacting. But sometimes what I'm working on personally at this stage in my life as a trader is dynamic sizing and stepping up when I think the opportunity arises. So if we're in this situation where, Core 1M is smashed, you're seeing like some hedging, we got the SCOTUS news, we're at all-time highs, people could be caught long, you could have a long squeeze, like there's some, that is telling me, okay, take an aggressive short. Versus if let's say we have a pop on OPEX day of vol, and we get a 100-point down day, okay? And you walk away with your fucking 10 Gs, 15 Gs. All right, cool. And then like the next day or whatever, we're inside of that range, right? Like let's just say we get one of these on an OPEX. Or one of these on an OPEX, right? And then you end up inside here or whatever. Like I'm not going to be so super aggressive. On shorts unless we broke the low. Unless we were threatening this low, I could have got caught with it short in the hole here because we broke that low. And a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I did that day. And actually, I stopped trading after this day because I was up money. I got short in the hole here, and it didn't work. And I actually missed this whole up move, which does happen to me. But again, you don't know what's going to happen. It's always easier in hindsight. And so that's how I trade. If you guys could take this, what I just shared with you, and build on it and maybe be better than me, which would be cool, right? So maybe you're seeing something that I don't see. Maybe I just lit a light bulb off in your head and you're like, oh, Steve, I know how you can make that better, and then you do it. So maybe that works out. But this is how I do everything. And then from here, now we have another channel. So we're going to go from the low, right, to here. Now we have our linear regression, right? Could you draw it from here? Could you draw it from this low? It's a little steep. Don't really like that. I like to give it like this. Now, if you see something hit one standard deviation, that could be a buy. I really wouldn't be looking for any shorts. We had every chance in the world to fade, and we didn't. So puts, no more today. Looking for calls. See this right here? Maybe we get down to here. This could be a cool buy, right? If we break this right here, well, then now you have this range, right, from 45 to 75. And maybe you get something like this. And as the day goes on, I see fat pitches, and I end up with a $3,000 day because we just had an awesome, middle of the range day with 15, 20 point, bounces and you have some opportunity to make some money. Maybe. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not going to sit here boring you guys to death all day. That is the gist of how I do things. And yeah, I hope it helps. Everybody, I hope you made more money than I did today. LOL. And yeah, that's how it goes, guys. All right. Take care.